Charlie was an 11-years-old kid like any other. He liked watching TV, drawing, playing with his friends, playing video games, and he especially loved playing with his new computer, where he could finally search for some things he liked with the internet. Charlie lived with his grandma Joan, his grandpa Vincent, her mom, and her 13-years-old sister, Andrea. They all had a happy family life, with almost no problems. Charlie really admired her sister. She was the first of her class, had a lot of cool friends, she was really popular and pretty, and she seemed to be the perfect friend, sister, daughter, and granddaughter. He didn't like to admit it, but sometimes he felt a little bit jealous. He was in no way a bad boy, but he felt overshadowed by her. His grades were not as good, he wasn't very popular, and sometimes he felt he would never fill the expectations his own family had for him. But what Charlie felt the more jealous about, and also the thing he felt more embarrassed, was because of the way Andrea looked. She was tall, thin, with beautiful black eyes, a long curled hair, and an amazing smile. She also had a great sense of fashion. Charlie just loved the way she looked, and as both grew up, that feeling was just becoming stronger. Charlie remembered how when they were little kids, Andrea liked putting makeup on him, and how they both laughed with the result of her experiments. Charlie wanted to ask Andrea to play that again, but now he wanted her to do a makeover on him. He knew that with enough makeup and pretty clothes he could look like a smaller version of her. But he was too nervous to ask for that. He felt really tempted to enter her room and try on some of his sister's clothes. His mother and grandpa weren't around most of the day because of their work, and his grandma just checked once in a while that both Charlie and Andrea were okay. But lately Andrea was in her room all the time, playing with her computer and chatting with her friends, so he never found a moment to enter. But one day an unexpected thing happened. "Hey Mom, well, I wanted to ask you. Can I go to a sleepover in Mary's house on Friday after school?" Andrea asked during dinner. Charlie looked at her sister and then he saw her mother. There was doubt on her face. He suddenly realized about it. If his sister went to the sleepover, her room would be alone, left like an open book for him. His thoughts were interrupted by the voice of her mother. Mary's parents know about this?" she asked. "Of course, Mom. Actually, Mary told me her mother will call you tomorrow to get all clear." "So can I go?" "Please," Andrea said. Charlie was quiet, just looking at her mother. But in his mind there was only one thought: please let her go, please let her go, please let her go. His mom sighed and then said, "Okay, but I want to talk with Mary's parents first." "Oh, thanks, Mom," Andrea said with a smile before standing up to go and hug their mother. "Bingo," Charlie thought as he looked down so no one could see he was smiling too. Finally Friday came. Andrea was going to leave at 5 p.m. Charlie waited with her until finally Mary's mom came to take her to Mary's home. Charlie and his grandma waved as Andrea, smiling, said goodbye to them. "Grandma, I'll go to my room. I'll be back soon," Charlie said. "Okay, Charlie. Do you want some chips or something from the fridge?" his grandma asked with a smile. No, thanks," Charlie said before racing upstairs. Then he stopped and looked at his room's door, and then he looked at Andrea's room. He closed his eyes, held his breath, and finally decided to go into his sister's room. When Charlie opened his eyes, he saw his sister's room and then realized he hadn't been there for a long time. Everything was really changed. It was no longer the room of a little girl. It had become the room of a young teenager. The Disney princesses were replaced with posters of One Direction, and where the dolls and stuffed animals used to be now was the place for tons of makeup. But he wasn't there to see all the changes Andrea had done to her room. He then looked to her sister's wardrobe. He opened it and saw a lot of jackets and sweaters. There wasn't anything that brought his attention. Only a cute dress, that his sister used during his ballet lessons some time ago draw his attention. But he just didn't felt the courage to put it on. He closed the wardrobe and then opened one of the drawers, but before he could see whatever was in there he heard the steps of his grandma. He grabbed the first things his hand found, quickly put them into his pocket without even looking at it and ran to his bedroom. "Is everything okay, Charlie?" his grandma asked when she saw him, nervous and kind of scared. "Yeah. It's just that you scared me," Charlie answered, with a nervous smile. "Am I that ugly?" his grandma joked. "Okay, I'll leave you alone. See you." Charlie nodded. Then, after his grandmother closed the door, he stood up and said, "Well, let's see what the hell I take." He took out the thing of his pocket. It felt soft. He expected to see a skirt, a blouse, even socks. But what he saw left him shocked. In his hand were a training bra and a pair of panties. "Damn, I took my sister's underwear," he said as he saw them. The training bra was a dotted, gray bra. And the panties were pink, with a little white ribbon in the middle of it. He was blushed as he held the bra and the panties. "Am I going to put these on?" he thought. He was embarrassed but then thought it took me a lot to finally have this opportunity and I'm not going to chicken out. He took out his shirt, his jeans and his underwear and he finally put on the panties and the bra. It didn't felt bad. Actually, the panties were more comfortable and soft than his boy's underwear. And the feeling of the bra was a completely new experience. He liked how it felt. The feeling of the straps on his shoulders and the sensation of something covering his chest was nice. Both of them fitted really well. Why does she keep this stuff? I'm pretty sure this doesn't fit her, and I don't think she wears training bras anymore. Well, I'm not the one to question her decisions. Actually, I'm glad of that decision, he thought. Then, someone knocked the door. "Charlie, can I enter?" his grandma asked. He was scared, and quickly put on his shirt and pants. "Yeah," he said finally. "Why did you take so much to answer?" his grandma asked. "Well, I was sleeping," Charlie lied. His grandma looked at him and said, "Well, I was going to ask you if you wanted some pizza for dinner today?" "Yeah, that's great," Charlie said smiling. "Well, you should come down. Your mom is already here. She came early and you know she likes to have the most time she can with you, so come down as soon as you can," she said. "Yeah, I will," he said. Charlie looked at the mirror. Nothing seemed really odd or strange about him. His shirt hid perfectly the training bra and of course his pants showed nothing under it. "I think I will stay with these clothes," he thought as he left his room. Everything went normal during that day, and when it was the time to sleep and he was putting his pajamas on, he smiled, looking at the underwear he was now wearing. It would be so cool to wear this kind of things every day. I'm even more jealous of Andrea now, he thought. Charlie felt happy. He finally had the courage and the opportunity to enter into his sister's room and try on some of her clothes, and he totally loved it. However, and much to his regret, Charlie thought that he had to return both the bra and the panties as soon as possible. He woke up very early in the morning and ran to Andrea's room to return the underwear he was wearing back to his sister's drawers. It was in that moment when he realized something. There was no need to hurry. He had some time before his mother and grandparents woke up, so he decided to seize the time. He started to dig a little in the drawers. While being careful of not cluttering too much, he blushed a little as he started exploring at the drawers. Oh man, she has really pretty clothes. I would love to try on all of it, Charlie thought. In just a few moments, Charlie found himself trying on in his sister's clothes. Skirts, blouses, pants, shorts, everything he wore was a new experience, and he loved it. Well, this outfit needs a coat, since apparently it's going to rain today, Charlie thought while he looked at his reflection on the mirror with a smile as he opened the closet. That was the moment when he saw it. It was a black dress, with a long skirt and a lot of cute laces on the top. He remembered it. Andrea wore it on a ballet presentation some years ago. Suddenly, all of his attention was into that dress. He remembered the way his sister looked, so elegant, so beautiful. The way she moved was so amazing, all of the dance moves were so soft, so delicate. Charlie had always loved ballet, but he never asked his mom to have lessons like Andrea did. Also, the academy where his sister used to go was exclusive for girls. But now he had an opportunity to feel a little bit like a ballet dancer. When he was about to take the dress, he suddenly heard a far sound of a door opening and he felt a little scared. Then he remembered that his mother did the laundry on Saturday mornings. He knew there was no escape. He was wearing Andrea's clothes, and there wouldn't be time for him to change back to his pajamas. Then he realized that his mother only took the laundry basket from the room. He hurried to find Andrea's basket, opened the door carefully, and after checking that nobody was around, he quickly pushed the basket out of the room, and then he returned to the room and locked the door. He didn't know what to do. He really wanted to try on the dress, but he felt a little bit scared. Now that he knew that his mom was already awake, he didn't felt secure and free anymore. Then he realized with fear that he had forgotten to take out his laundry basket and that his mother would undoubtedly search it on the room and notice that he wasn't there, and there would be no excuse for him to be on his sister's room. He quickly changed back to his pajamas, while he was still wearing the training bra and the panties, and quickly ran back to his room. Charlie felt strange. He had done something that some days ago seemed impossible, something that in his mind was bad. He was a boy, he shouldn't be thinking of wearing girls' clothing. But now he wasn't just thinking of doing that, he was actually doing it. And he didn't feel guilty or bad. He was, actually, very happy. He smiled as he remembered the way he looked with his sister's clothes. Although they were too big for him, he really liked the way they looked. And then he realized that he wore his sister's underwear all night and most of the time during that day. He took off the underwear when he decided to take a bath, but he decided to put on Andrea's underwear again. This isn't your underwear. You need to return it. And you need to accommodate Andrea's room. You left a real mess there, Charlie thought as he dressed. Then he went downstairs to have breakfast. His grandparents were already taking breakfast when he appeared. "Hi, Grandma," Charlie saluted as he kissed his grandma's cheek. "Hi, Charlie. You want to have breakfast or will you wait to have it with your mom?" his grandma asked. I guess I'll wait. My mom, I don't think she will take a long time to come down," Charlie answered, as he sat on the dining room and saluted his grandpa. Some minutes later, Charlie's mom came down. After greeting everyone, she went to the kitchen to help Grandma. And everyone sat down and started eating breakfast. "Well, Joan, we need to go before 1:30. We said to Henry that we would come with him to see how the constructions of the new rooms were going," his grandpa said. "Yeah, I know. I'll hurry to do everything I need to do," his grandma answered. It seems like we all are going to be on a hurry today. I also need to get all the laundry done so I can go pick up Andrea at 3 o'clock and then to the supermarket," his mom said with a smile. The time went by, and then it was 2:30 when Charlie's mother went to his room. "Charlie, it's time to go. We need to pick up your sister," she said, as she went into his room. Mom, I think I will not go. I don't feel really good," Charlie answered. "Are you okay, Charlie? Do you want to go to the doctor?" "We can call Dr. Smith," his mom said, with clear preoccupation. "Oh, no. Don't worry, Mom. It's just a little headache." "It's nothing," he said as he smiled to his mother. But you'll have to stay alone. Are you sure you want to stay? Yeah, Mom. I'm not a baby anymore, okay? Remember. Do not open the door and do not answer the phone. I'll try to be here as soon as possible as Mom hugged him and kissed his forehead. Yeah, Mom. Hurry up. You will be late, Charlie answered. Charlie was alone. He hated lying to his mother, but it was necessary. There wouldn't be any other opportunity to return the underwear to Andrea's room. He took off the bra and the panties and put on his boy's underwear. He felt weird. He really had enjoyed wearing his sister's underwear, but he knew that he needed to return it, and he also knew there wouldn't be many other opportunities to repeat that experience, something that saddened him even more. He entered into his sister's room, and after leaving the underwear on the drawer where he found it, he started to fix all the mess he had left. Then he saw it again, the dress. He calculated that probably he wouldn't have more than an hour and a half. He really wanted to try it on. He took it and quickly ran to his bedroom. He felt the fabric. It was like nothing he had ever felt. He quickly took off his shirt and pants and then he closed his eyes as he put on the dress. The top was tight, but the skirt was really loose. He then thought, well, if it's a ballet dress, I should dance while wearing it. He didn't have any classical music on any CD, but he didn't need to. He took his iPod, put on his headphones and just started moving with the rhythm of the music. He loved the way the skirt floated as he moved. Time passed quickly, but he didn't notice. He was really into the music and the dance to even care of the clock ticking. He just realized how much time had passed when he saw that the battery was almost over. He took off the headphones and lay in his bed. But when he sat, he turned around and, with fear, realized that Andrea, his sister, was watching him, with her eyes wide open in surprise. Charlie and his sister were quiet. Both of them had their eyes wide open, with Andrea's eyes showing shock and Charlie's eyes reflecting his fear. Charlie was trying to cover his body with his arms, but it was completely useless. His sister was able to see him wearing her dress. Finally, Andrea broke the silence with a single question, "What are you doing?" "I'm an idiot. I should have prevented it." But the music and the joy I had completely erased any kind of prevention of my mind. Now Andrea saw me. She probably hates me now. And she will tell Mom and Grandma and Grandpa. And my whole family will hate me, Charlie thought, while some tears appeared on his eyes. "Charlie, what are you doing?" Andrea asked again, while she closed the door and got near to her little brother. It's just that. Andrea, I love you. You're the best sister that I could have. Even if our relationship isn't as good as it used to be, I still consider you my best friend. But Charlie sighed and finally told the truth. "I'm jealous of you. You're the perfect girls. The whole world seems to love you. You are everything I would like to be. You're smart, you're pretty, and you're very brave. I really admire you, and I especially admire the way you look. I have wanted to try on your clothes for a long time, and since you weren't here I thought it was the perfect moment," Charlie said as he broke down in tears. "I know you hate me now. I don't blame you. You probably think I'm just a weirdo. But please, please, don't tell anyone about this. I beg you." Andrea looked at Charlie, who was now down on his knees and crying in front of her. And instinctively she knelt down and hugged him, an action that surprised her little brother Andrea. Charlie whispered, "Charlie, please, stop crying. Look, I don't hate you. I could never hate you. You're my brother. We have shared a lot of things through the years. What you said, it's a lot of information, and I have to say it's something surprising to me. I feel flattered for all the cute things you said about me. Really, that was something very nice. And, while I don't know if it works in the same way with boys, but I kind of understand what you're going through. Believe me, I really admired Mom when I was your age. I still admire her, but during those times I wanted to be like her in any way possible. And I think that's what you're feeling for me right now. But after a while I'm sure that feeling will go away. And you don't have to be ashamed of feeling that. It's just something normal, Andrea said while she smiled at her brother. Charlie cleaned his tears and looked at her. So, you're not mad with me? Of course I'm mad with you. You took my dress without permission. If you wanted it, you should have asked for it, Andrea said while winking at him. But, it's girl clothing and I'm a boy. It would be embarrassing to ask you for it, Charlie said. Well, if you had done it before, you could have avoided all of this. And also, some of the clothes I have are really important for me, but some of them are too small for me, so, honestly, I prefer that you wear it rather than selling it or throwing it away, Andrea said. So, technically you're giving me all of the clothes that don't fit you anymore, Charlie asked. Yeah, basically, although for obvious reasons the clothing will stay in my room, you only need to go and ask for it. And, well, if you want, we can play again our makeup game, with the difference that we will do it with real makeup. Charlie blushed. That idea was even more of what he ever expected. Not only his sister wasn't angry, but she was actually going to help him. Charlie smiled and hugged his sister, who responded at his hug. Wait. Charlie, are you wearing a bra? Charlie blushed and nodded. Andrea just smiled and told him, well, just for you to know it, the agreement includes underwear, just make sure of putting it on my laundry basket and to not use it daily. And if you want to wear a bra, you need to put something over it. I mean, everyone who hugs you will feel it. Charlie's face then turned red as he looked at his sister and whispered, Mom hugged me, she surely felt it. Oh my God! Now she knows about it and she will probably ask about it. Okay, calm down, were you wearing something over your t-shirt? A jacket, well, that covers it a little, maybe she didn't notice. Calm down, if she doesn't tell you something in the next few days she didn't felt it. Oh. Okay, now, I'll leave for a moment, and you need to take off the dress. I'm sure you have already worn it for a while. And please give me my underwear too, Andrea said as she left the room, leaving Charlie completely alone. Oh my God, that was so amazing. Now I will be able to try on all of my sister's clothing. And she will put some makeup on me. This is going to be so amazing, Charlie thought as he undressed and put back on his old and boring boy's clothing. Well, tomorrow if you want we can start with the makeup. Is that okay? Andrea asked when she came back to his room. Yeah, of course. I can't wait, Charlie answered. Great. And, while this might seem weird, but Charlie, do you like boys or girls? Andrea said, while she stood up and got near the door with the dress and the underwear on her hands. What? What does that has to do with anything? I'm just curious. But, well, maybe you're too small to think about that kind of things. Well, I like girls. I have never felt anything for a boy. Only with the ones that I'm really close to. And it's not the same thing that I feel for girls. So, yeah, I like girls. Well, ha ha ha. That's fine, sorry if it was a strange question. And you? Do you like girls or boys? Charlie asked as a joke. Andrea sighed and then turned to look at his little brother. Her face was red. I like girls too, Andrea said as she left and closed the door. Wow, I didn't expect that. This has been a day full of surprises, Charlie said, as he smiled. It had been 2 years since Andrea caught her little brother Charlie wearing one for her old ballet dresses. Things had changed for them in that lapse of time. Both had grown up a lot, and through the time they were becoming closer and closer. Andrea was now a beautiful, smart and happy 15-year-old girl. Her old friend Mary was now her beloved girlfriend, even if no one in school or in her house knew about their relationship. And her relationship with Charlie was better than ever, but then, after a while, she noticed that something in Charlie was changing. It wasn't only that he now was a little bit taller than her, or that his shoulders were broader, his voice was deeper and his face more masculine. His attitude was also different. He wasn't that happy little boy she knew. He was more serious, quieter, and he practically never smiled. Andrea knew something was wrong with Charlie. And she was really worried for him. She loved him a lot, he was his little brother, and she wanted to do anything that was possible just to make his brother happy. One day, she decided to go and just ask his brother if anything was wrong. She knocked the door and then she entered the room. "Hi, Charlie," she said, with a smile on her face. "Oh, hey, Andrea. What's up?" Charlie answered, with a serious voice. "Nothing. I just wanted to see my little brother since he never leaves his room," Andrea said, winking at him. "Oh yeah. Well, honestly, I have no reasons to leave my room," Charlie replied. "Okay. Now I know that something is wrong. Some time ago you spent most of the time with me. You really liked when I did your makeup and borrowed my clothes. What's happening, Charlie? You look sadder than ever. Someone is bullying you? A girl broke your heart? Or, yes, is probably that. You don't like wearing my clothes and using makeup anymore, and you're too shy to tell me, but there must be something else. Tell me what's wrong, please," Andrea said. Charlie just sighed and looked away while whispering, "It's not that, please, Charlie, tell me. You know you can trust me. You were the first person to know that I like girls and the only person that knows about Mary and me. Don't you think I deserve to know what's happening?" Charlie looked at his sister and sighed. "Okay, I'll tell you. Look, my body has been changing a lot lately." "No. Oh my God. I haven't noticed yet," Andrea said, sarcastically. "Shut up and let me continue. Well, yeah, my body is changing and I feel really strange, Charlie. There's nothing to feel ashamed of. Trust me, when I started puberty I also felt like an alien. Believe me, everyone goes through that phase, but once you get used to the changes it isn't such an awful thing. Honestly, I don't think you understand it at all. It's been a year since the changes started and I haven't got used to them. I hate how my body looks. Like, really hate it. That's why I have been so sad and quiet. I feel bad because of the way I look. And that's also the reason why I haven't gone to your room lately. I don't want to see those beautiful clothes on my horrible body. And I don't want to see how all your hard work on makeup goes to waste because of my awful face. I don't think your face is awful, nor your body, thanks, but honestly that doesn't help as much as I would like. I feel like I was trapped in my own body. Honestly, Charlie said, before he suddenly stopped talking. What? Andrea said as she looked at her little brother, and to her surprise she saw some tears on his eyes, before he cleaned them with her hand and sighed. I think I would be happier if I were a girl. I'm actually sure of that. No, I know that. I want to be a girl, Charlie said, stuttering. Andrea heard that with surprise, and both stood quietly until Charlie broke the silence. Please, say something. Anything. Say what you're thinking. That you think I'm a weirdo and that you will never allow me to enter your room again. Tell me that you hate me. Say it. Andrea didn't say a word, but she quickly got near to Charlie and hugged him as both of them started crying. How can you say something like that? Do you think I'm bad enough to say things like that? I told you 2 years ago and I repeat it now. I could never hate you, Charlie. I love you. You're the best brother and the best friend I could ever ask for. It's okay if you feel like a girl. It doesn't change who you really are. Charlie started crying harder as he said, "Thank you, Andrea. I love you too. Look, I know I'm not precisely the most accurate person to tell you this since I haven't come out yet, but you have to tell Mom about this, what?" Charlie said, surprised. "I know it's difficult, but you really have to tell this to her. She is the only one that can help you being who you want to be." "Oh yeah. Of course. She will be really happy to hear this." "Hey Mom, guess what? You never had a son, I'm actually your daughter. She will be so happy with that. And Grandma and Grandpa will be really happy too," Charlie said, sarcastically. "Well, you don't have to be as direct as that. Now that we are talking about this, it's time for you to tell me why you haven't come out as a lesbian to Mom." Andrea blushed and said, "Well, it's just that. I'm not ready. Well, that's exactly how I feel. This is a really big thing. I need to fully accept myself before I start making decisions that will affect me for the rest of my life. Believe me, if I could I would start taking hormones and all of that since today, but I still need to understand some things. When I feel ready to tell her I will, I promise," Charlie said. "Okay, I promise to do the same. We need to be brave, Charlie." "Yes, I know. Now that I'm here I will ask you. Do you want to go to my room? You haven't been there in a while," Andrea said with a big smile on her face. I don't know," Charlie said. "Oh, come on. I have a little surprise for you. I guess you remember that Mom and I went shopping last Sunday, yeah. And, so what? Well, she bought me my prom dress, and I know you've always wanted to wear a prom dress, so I'll let you be the first one to wear it." Charlie's face suddenly changed as a smile appeared and his cheeks started glowing again. "Really? Will you let me do that? Oh, my God. That's so cool. Thank you, Andrea." "Of course, Charlie. Come on, let's go to my room." "Wait. The dress is strapless?" Yes. "Why do you ask that?" "Because, then, it probably won't fit," Charlie said with sadness. "Come on, Charlie. You love strapless dresses and I know it will fit." "Why are you so sure? My chest is completely flat and yours is not." "Because even if you don't have breasts you have broad shoulders and that'll make it fit." I'm not sure." "Come on, Charlie, don't be so negative. Trust me." "Okay. I'll trust you. Good choice, my little bro." "My little sister," Andrea said as he winked. Charlie just smiled as tears of happiness started flowing in her eyes.